What do you think of when you hear the name Nike? Perhaps it's the iconic swoosh logo, or maybe you think of the company's famous slogan, "Just do it." Whatever comes to mind, there's no denying that Nike is one of the most recognizable brands in the world today. But have you ever wondered how Nike got its start? In this video, we're going to take a deep dive into the history of Nike and explore the fascinating story of its founders, Phil Knight and Bill Bowerman. In the early 1960s, Knight and Bowerman were just two young men with a passion for athletics. Knight was a runner on the University of Oregon track team, while Bowerman was the team's coach. Together, they dreamed of creating a new kind of athletic shoe that would help runners achieve their full potential. At the time, the athletic shoe industry was dominated by a few major players, like Adidas and Puma. These companies had been around for decades and had a loyal customer base. But Knight and Bowerman saw an opportunity to do something different. As they began to develop their ideas, Knight and Bowerman realized that they needed to create a shoe that was lighter, more flexible, and more comfortable than anything else on the market. Bowerman, who was known for his innovative training techniques, started experimenting with different materials and designs. One day, he even used a waffle iron to create the sole of a new shoe, which helped to increase its traction and flexibility. With a prototype in hand, Knight and Bowerman started to pitch their ideas to potential investors. But they quickly discovered that it wasn't easy to get people to take them seriously. Undeterred, they decided to take matters into their own hands. Their first design was called the Cortez, and it was a sleek, lightweight shoe that was designed to help runners go faster and farther. Knight and Bowerman were convinced that they had created a product that would change the world of running forever. But they faced a major challenge: how to get their product in front of potential customers. With very little money and no experience in marketing, Knight and Bowerman began selling their shoes out of the trunk of Knight's car. They drove around to track meets and athletic events, setting up a small table and selling their shoes directly to runners and coaches. It was a humble beginning, but it was also the start of something big. As word spread about the quality and performance of Knight and Bowerman's shoes, they began to gain a loyal following among runners and sneaker enthusiasts alike. In 1964, Knight and Bowerman officially founded their company, which they called Blue Ribbon Sports. They continued to sell their shoes out of the trunk of Knight's car, but they also began to establish relationships with running coaches and athletes, who became their biggest advocates. One of the most influential coaches that Knight and Bowerman worked with was Bill Dellinger, the coach of the University of Oregon track team. Dellinger was a legendary figure in the world of running, and his endorsement of the Cortez helped to establish the shoe as a must-have for serious runners. As Blue Ribbon Sports continued to grow, Knight and Bowerman faced new challenges. They needed to raise more money to expand their product line and reach a wider audience. They also needed to develop a strong brand identity that would help their products stand out in an increasingly crowded market. In 1971, Phil Knight and Bill Bowerman rebranded their company as Nike, taking inspiration from the Greek goddess of victory. It was a bold move, and one that would help to establish Nike as one of the most iconic brands in the world. To launch the new brand, Nike created a series of commercials that showcased top athletes wearing Nike gear. These ads were groundbreaking in their use of music, editing, and visual effects, and they helped to establish Nike as a company that was cool, innovative, and forward-thinking. Nike's early success was due in large part to its focus on innovation. The company was constantly experimenting with new materials and designs, seeking to create the perfect athletic shoe. To support these efforts, Nike assembled a team of top designers and engineers, who were given the freedom to explore new ideas and push the boundaries of what was possible. By the mid-1970s, Nike had become one of the top athletic shoe companies in the United States. Its shoes were worn by top athletes and weekend warriors alike, and its branding was recognized around the world. But as Nike continued to grow, it faced new challenges. The company's rapid expansion led to supply chain issues and quality control problems, and it struggled to maintain the high standards that had made it successful in the first place. To address these issues, Nike brought in a new team of executives in the early 1980s. These leaders focused on streamlining operations and improving quality control, helping Nike to maintain its position as a leader in the athletic shoe industry. The 1980s and 1990s were a period of explosive growth for Nike. By the end of the 1970s, Nike had established itself as a major player in the world of athletic shoes. But it was during the 1980s that the company really began to take off. One of the keys to Nike's success during this period was its ability to innovate and introduce new products that captured the imagination of athletes and sneaker enthusiasts alike. In 1982, Nike introduced the Air Force One, the first basketball shoe to feature Nike's patented air cushioning technology. The Air Force One was an instant hit, and it helped to establish Nike as a leader in the world of basketball shoes. But Nike's success wasn't just about innovation. The company also invested heavily in marketing and advertising, using high-profile endorsements from athletes like Michael Jordan, Bo Jackson, and Andre Agassi to create a powerful brand identity that resonated with consumers. One of Nike's most iconic advertising campaigns during this period was the Just Do It campaign, which launched in 1988. The campaign featured a series of ads that encouraged people to push themselves to the limit and to pursue their dreams, no matter what obstacles they faced. The campaign was a huge success, and it helped to establish Nike as a brand that was all about empowerment and inspiration. As Nike continued to grow, the company faced increasing scrutiny over its labor practices. In the 1990s, Nike was accused of using sweatshops in Asia to produce its products, and the company came under fire from human rights organizations and consumer advocates. Nike responded to these criticisms by implementing new labor practices and sustainability initiatives, including the creation of the Nike Foundation, which focused on promoting sustainable development in the communities where Nike operates. Despite these challenges, Nike continued to dominate the world of athletic shoes and sportswear throughout the 1990s. The company's growth was fueled by its ability to stay ahead of the competition, both in terms of innovation and marketing. Nike continued to introduce new products that captured the imagination of consumers, including the Air Max line of running shoes and the iconic Air Jordan basketball shoes. Nike also expanded its product line beyond shoes, launching a range of athletic apparel and accessories that further solidified the company's position as a leader in the world of sportswear. By the end of the 1990s, Nike had become a global powerhouse, with revenues of more than $9 billion per year. The company's success was a testament to the vision and leadership of its founder, Phil Knight, as well as the hard work and dedication of the thousands of employees who helped to make Nike a household name. Nike's success over the years has been built on a foundation of innovation and a commitment to quality. But the company's success can also be attributed to the leadership of Phil Knight, who served as CEO for more than 3 decades. Knight was known for his innovative approach to business, his passion for sports, and his commitment to excellence. He believed that great companies are built by great people, and he surrounded himself with a team of talented and motivated individuals. Under Knight's leadership, Nike grew from a small startup to a global powerhouse. The company expanded into new markets and launched new product lines, all while remaining true to its core values of innovation, quality, and performance. Nike's advertising campaigns were also a key part of its success. The company's iconic Just Do It slogan and its ads featuring top athletes helped to establish Nike as a brand that was cool, edgy, and aspirational. Nike's success was also due in large part to its commitment to sustainability. The company has taken a number of steps to reduce its environmental impact, including using recycled materials in its products and investing in renewable energy. But Nike's success has not come without controversy. The company has faced criticism over its labor practices and its use of sweatshops in developing countries. In response, Nike has implemented a number of reforms to improve working conditions and ensure that its products are produced ethically. Today, Nike remains one of the most iconic brands in the world. Its products are worn by top athletes and everyday people alike, and its branding is recognized around the world. In conclusion, the story of Nike is a story of innovation, quality, and leadership. Phil Knight and Bill Bowerman were visionaries who disrupted the athletic shoe industry, and Nike continues to push the boundaries of what is possible. Thanks for watching.